You don't know.
Well, first of all, good day. My name is DJ Trash. Pushpa. Yeah. Majority of them.
One, because I know you got a lot of names. You know what I'm saying?
I got to work one of them. I definitely got to work one of them.
But before we get into that, I know, you being one of the persons, not only with this organization here, Stop the Violence, with also the AIDS organization, because you're doing a show now live on JTV, which you're going to tell me and tell them a little bit about it same way. But we can first
There's a lot more I would like to
Well, with the match, I like the idea of the match. But at the end of the day, I hope I don't match anybody calm by saying it. The match won't really solve what we want to solve. We have to get inside, have to now go out and do a one-on-one talk, communicating with people. That's the only how we get to solve things. I mean, the police now have a lot of work on their hand, but the only how the police can get to accomplish what they want to accomplish is we as a people by getting together and working together. And until we start to work together and realize that it's only we putting down one another, we ain't get anywhere with it. Because at the end of the day, we still under the mentality that we shouldn't work with police. Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of people feel that way. So I think the community, I think the police have to break that barrier the same way. That they need to make everybody feel comfortable that they can work with them.
Well, yeah, but at the end of the day, the police is still carrying themselves as there is the king of the lion of the jungle, sorry. And you as that's the thing. You as a regular person have to respect me no matter what. Until you come down to every single person level, you will never get any sort of communication the way you want. You will get communication, but it will be a forced and a mandatory communication because I have to talk to you as a police. But other than that, what you really want from me, you will get it.
Exactly.
See?
You understand? I agree.
So I will just say, unless the police them realize that this is not a mandatory thing, that the public don't have to come and bring any information to them. They'll have to come to them at a different level. Then we'll always be in problems. We'll always be in problems. So, just appealing to everyone out there. Communicate.
Well, I hope it gets to the point where we could actually relate and we could actually be on a level with them. We could see them as not, like you say, the higher horses. Once I could see you as a person, as an individual, then of course we could communicate, because you and I, we would sit down and we rap about a lot of stuff. And if you were acting up, then we wouldn't have had this problem.
No.
I wouldn't be talking to you about nothing. No. So I understand what you're saying in a sense. So I hope they reach to that point where they could come and deal with everybody on a level. Then you get more accomplished.
Well, you see, I was telling someone earlier today that I will more comfortably speak to an inspector than a regular police officer. Unless you reach in the green clothes, you'll see the difference. Because the green clothes guys been here so long, they know exactly the routine, they know who is who, they know how to communicate and come to a level. But these new rookies, as we call them, they come from different Caribbean countries, yes, we're thankful, but they come with a concept that here is the same as where they come from. It's not. Until you realize and get to know who's here, people here will not accept you. They will not accept you and just be speaking to you just like you're a brother of theirs or not. Only the inspectors, the people here, will respect. Who've been here from long because they know the ropes, they know alleys back to front, they know how to approach and communicate with people. So until the officers until the inspectors them train these lower guys and let them know what exactly is going on, the crowd will not, or the community will not cooperate willingly. You see? So at the end of the day, it's a match. It's one of the majority or one of the many that the Christian Council and others is saying, but we have to go to our next step.
Stop the violence. And hey, we're here with this beautiful lady who's going to tell me her name.
Judy Ann Wade.
And tell me a little bit about your involvement in Stop the Violence. Why are you here?
I'm here as part of the community to end this violence. I have a few words to say also. When some things happen, we are always ready to blame someone. We blame the single parent, but they are always there. We blame TV, and violence was always there. We blame the government, but government cannot do everything. We need to come together as a community to help end this violence.
Well, thank you for that little note. And of course, I hope everybody out there knows that they have to be a part. They have to be be a solution.
Yes.
As to what's going on, because everybody's trying to wait until the police and the government and everybody, but we as an individual have to make this happen, right?
Yes, it's a triple effect. It not only affects the person, it affects the society, it affects families, it affects everyone. And it also is another statistics in the community.
Well, what message you have for people out there before we go?
We need to come together and show more love and unity in the community. Thank you.
More love and unity. All right, thank you. All right, you take care. We're here with a man garden standpoint, and he would have a more insight of actually what's going on in the island, because this is the man who actually writes the news. I mean, a lot of us read, but you know, he is the one who got put it together. Garden, what's going on?
Yes, one of the things that I've noticed as a reporter going out there and covering a lot of the murders that occurred this year alone, it's destroying families out there, and the community need things like these, the march and rally, to unite and come together against the crime and violence that has engulfed the community since the start of this year. A lot of the murders, they have gone down mostly in the night time, and most of them are our young men and mostly our youth population, and that is something we need to grapple with. Yes, crime is around the region, throughout the Caribbean region, crime is on the increase. But the citizens of the Virgin Islands could come together and take a stand to say we will not have it increase in the Virgin Islands.
I agree. Well, of course, there hasn't been anything that you probably haven't covered, because since, you know, in your line of job. But what do you think, you know, could be done or should be done as a community to help to curb this whole situation that we're having right now?
All right, one of the things that I've noted so far is the number of unsolved murders, and that tells us that as a community we need to come out and do something. Work with the police, work with the law enforcement officials to take a stand against what is happening. We've heard a lot about it said at the funeral for Edred Stout and Glenn Industrious. The Reverend was actually telling persons that they are the brothers keepers to come out and support the police. And I think that is the message that this march has sent today, that they need to come out and support the police, because too often what I've seen is a number of the crimes occurred, and the families and the community, they're left in a state of shock and mourning. And at some point in time, we need to come out and say that enough is enough.
Well, I think we've reached to that point where enough is enough. I think it's been too many murders for this year. I think it's a little too much. And I think everybody needs to come out and support. And like you said, get involved in supporting the police and sharing information with the police. I think that's important.
You see, one of the things also is that sometimes we stand out and we say, well, another brother gone, we go to the funeral and that's it. But then we never know a day might come when one of our very own family members might be caught up, might be in the wrong place at the wrong time. So while you might say that these persons that are going down are not mine, they're not my relatives, yes, they are not, but sometime point in time, if this continues, it may affect you sooner or later. A closer relative might lose their life by the gun.
Yeah, if it's not your relative, it's not my relative, so I don't care, but it's somebody else, mom, brother, sister, you know, and of course, you know, it's going to hit home at some point in time. What would you like to say to the community before we go?
All right, I would like to say one thing to the community, to always remember that what we have here, this is a tourist destination, and we are depending on our tourism and also our financial services. To boost our economy, and we don't want it to start trickling down to affect business and tourists coming to the island. So we must take a stand now before it gets worse. It might be at the local level now where our community is being affected, but we don't want it to spread. We're seeing some islands in the Caribbean being affected by crime, like Trinidad. They have a booming tourism sector at one time, but with the kidnappings and shootings that have occurred, people are deterred from going to Trinidad, and we don't want that to happen in Tortola. So we must take a stand now, and we must do all that we can to ensure that this upsurge in criminal activities is snuffed out early.
Exactly. Anyhow, pleasure having you.
Thanks, man.
Take care, okay?
Anytime.
You don't know.
Well, we have the Honorable, we have Education Minister Andrew. How you doing?
Not bad. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. It's good to have you. It's good to have you on this program because you're a hard man to find.
Well, I was on the move, doing something for the people.
You've been busy lately, so
Yeah.
congrats, and you're doing a good thing.
All right, thank you very much.
All right. Now, stop the violence. I mean, I see you here rallying, you're here supporting. Tell me what you think about what's going on here right now.
Well, this is excellent. When the community started to come together to start to say, well, we want to take back our community to have it how it used to be. And this goes a long way because every little bit counts. But it's going to take each of us as individuals to play our part, which especially with our youth, to make sure that we help them to get some direction. And also with our parents, to make sure that parents become parents again and not the children be the parents and the parents be the children. In a lot of cases where you see the youth go astray, it has been due to a lack of guidance, whether parental, usually it's parental. And that is something that we're trying to put some more focus on, at least in the field in education, and we can't do it alone. We also want to launch some programs, pulling together the religious organization and other organizations to come together to do more than just do, for example, church is more now than the four walls. You have to get really into what's happening almost like in the days of Jesus. You can't stay within the confines of the walls anymore for the church. And that's what we want to be challenging more, challenging the churches and more organizations with. And this is a step in the right direction.
So what would you say to the community? What word of advice you would give to them to help curb this problem that we're having right now?
Well, I would say that everyone has to do their part and be honest with themselves. If there's something that's wrong, we have to be able to speak with each other and sit down and come up with solutions. And the government alone can't do it. It's going to take the whole community to do it, and we have to recognize that as a government we have to be open-minded to allow the support and help of any organization or any other individual. The problem we have is much larger than political parties, much larger than individual goals. It's dealing with making sure that we put our country back in where it was, crime-free, progressive, and reduce the numbers in Balsamgot.
Yeah, we definitely want to do that.
And Johnson Gut. And all the other guts, and make sure that we start to get our youth and our people in general back to understand that they have to fulfill their God-given purpose in life, and that's the most important thing.
Definitely a pleasure having you here, like I say.
Always a pleasure, Sam.
And hey,
Yeah.
do your thing. You're doing your thing.
Ah.
And handle your business, all right?
For sure. And y'all keep doing the work you're doing too.
We try it.
All right.
All right?
Good.
Take care.
All right, good.
Well, of course, today was, I would say, very successful. I mean, many people came out to support Stop the Violent March. As you can see, we had officials, we have people who organize it, we have artists, we have everybody, came out, people who have lost loved ones. Everybody came out to support. Everybody was here in support of what's going on. Stop the Violent March, and we need more. We need more of you to come out. The next march, we should have many, many, many more of you showing up here. So there will be many, many more of you to interview. All right? But you know how Vibes do. We're making sure we're keeping it real. We're stopping the violence. We got to do this together. All right? Whatever vibes you want, like we always say, keep it positive. That's what it's all about. All right? Lock.
You don't know.